What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And Bitcoin is seeing some crazy New York Open volatility here with a fast drop to the downside into that key level of support that we've been looking at on the live stream, sitting at the bottom of our value area. And not only have we had our short finally play out in full in the premium Discord, but we have now come down to our next key level of support where we were hoping for some kind of a bounce, and we are now seeing that bounce right now, guys. So I want to talk about what we just saw happen this morning and where Bitcoin could go next. Are we just going to come up for a small retracement before continuing lower, or was this a significant low, and can we potentially see Bitcoin continue to the upside? I'm going to break down all the key levels and what we're looking for next here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart, and as you can see, Bitcoin has gotten a pretty aggressive drop to the downside here with a very aggressive liquidation wick here and a nice bounce back to the upside. Now, if you guys keep up with the channel, you will know we have just come down to a very key level we have been keeping our eye on for quite some time, and that level is sitting down here between about 90,800 and 89.9. And if you have been keeping up with the channel, you will know that this key zone of support is a level that we have been anticipating price to come down to ever since we had gotten our rejection from this $102,000 area. We knew that there was a very high likelihood that this was going to be a significant lower high in the market for a return back into our range, back down to the POC. And then last week, we were just bing-bonging around here for quite some time. We barely front-ran this level, but as you guys know, with the volume profiles, once you get accepted back into that value area high, you know that next likely place for price to go is going to be the POC. And then once you can't get above that POC, you're going to expect price to begin its journey down to that value area low. And although it has been choppy, we have finally gotten that continuation all the way down to our next key zone of support that we were watching in the premium Discord and on the live streams. And we have come down to that level. Not only have we come down to the value area low, but we actually had some liquidity sitting below this massive wick that we had all the way back here from December 5th. Now, if I pull up that liquidation heat map, you guys can see that liquidity was sitting below and price did come down. We sweat that low aggressively before getting another bounce to the upside. And not only do we have that liquidity sitting down there, guys, but if I go ahead and highlight that wick, which is where we were looking for swing failure patterns in the premium Discord for a potential long position, and you guys can see we did get that wick down below the level. We came back up, closed above, and now we are getting another push to the upside. You can see this did happen on the 15-minute as well as the 30-minute. Not only did we have the SFPs here, guys, but we also had our bullish divergences, lower lows on our price action with those higher lows on our momentum waves, and we are now seeing that aggressive bounce back to the upside. Now, I will say this, guys, if we come on over to the 1 hour time frame, Market Cipher B doesn't necessarily look like this is going to be the bottom, but obviously we did get that aggressive bounce, and all we need is that little volatility in the market to make some money. And like I said, this was a setup in the premium Discord, although it did take us quite a bit of time to finally get these confirmations. This post was from all the way back in December as we had that trap set down here at the value area low, looking for those lower lows on price action with that swing failure pattern to give us that extra confirmation. And obviously we have now gotten that almost perfectly with the bullish divergences and that swing failure pattern to give us that extra confirmation. And I have taken that long position over here in the premium Discord. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys, I did not get the best entry here. I was having a little meeting with Tony D, and I did get to the charts a little bit late here, but I was able to catch an entry here up about $700. Not too bad for a quick little aggressive entry. And I also have taken some more profit here on my bigger short position, which I am still holding a portion of and will add to if we continue to the upside. But guys, the question is, how high can we go here if we are going to get a little bit of a retracement and a continuation down? Where would I be anticipating price to come into? Well, very naturally, I am going to pull my Fibonacci retracement from the high here all the way down to the low. And you can see our next golden pocket retracement is sitting at about $93,278. And then that 786 is sitting at about $94,423. So I'm going to look for price to potentially retrace into these levels. Now, this was a very volatile move, guys. We got that very scary drop to the downside. Oh my God, it's breaking down. Everybody gets scared. But you know the Mafia does not get bearish at support. Instead, that is where we're looking for those long positions, for those bounces to the upside. It is nice to see this little bounce come in, and hopefully it can continue after we've locked in a little more profit on the short, and we are now in that fresh long position. I would love for price to come up a little bit more here, and in the grand scheme of things, guys, if this were the low, the next major target to the upside would be the POC of the range at 97,347, and then once we get above there, we could simply look for price to go back up to the value area high for another rotation of our value area, and this is just how we trade in the premium Discord is we are looking for longs at the lows and we are looking for shorts at the highs. So this is just the general outlook on this trade for the most part. However, locally, I am going to keep a close eye on this trade as the sell pressure has been very strong on Bitcoin. So hopefully we can see that bounce continue. I'm going to be locking in profits and moving my stop loss pretty aggressively here just to protect myself on this crazy volatile move. So these local fibs pulled from the high and even this local lower high that we made right here, these are going to be the zones we're tapping this golden pocket right now. So I'm going to be watching these very closely. If we continue up, the next major target will be the POC. But like I said, the selling pressure is very strong on Bitcoin here, especially with our daily money flow coming out. We also have our 12-hour money flow crossing back over into the red. So if we do continue down, guys, it's nice that we could catch these little scalp longs for some day trades, jump in, grab our bag, and jump out. However, if we are going to see this aggressive selling pressure with the 12-hour money flow and that 16-hour money flow coming to the downside, if we're going to see this move down continue, which is definitely possible, I will be looking down towards the daily that we have sitting here at about $87,347. And then once we lose that level, guys, we are headed towards our major range low, where on the live stream, we were looking at our visible range volume profile, where we have our very large volume gap sitting here in the market. Right below this daily is kind of where that low volume gap starts to pick up. So if we come down to this daily and we're unable to hold it, we may be able to see some very quick moves down on Bitcoin. At that point, our last level of support is going to be sitting at about $85,200. If we are able to continue pushing down, guys, the liquidations and the liquidity we have down here may wind up giving us an aggressive liquidation wick down into our major key zone of support between about $82,600 and $80,000, where we have our golden pocket, daily naked points of controls, as well as our very, very important anchored VWAP in confluence with that zone of support. So this is a huge, huge level to be looking at, guys. Sure, we were able to get that nice little scalp long here. That's not that bad to grab some money for the day. However, we do have to keep an eye on where we think price is eventually going to go. And I will say, although we are getting a bounce here, we did get the confirmations. I'm going to be protecting this long pretty well because there is a chance that if all this money flow continues our trend to the downside, we may just wind up seeing a little retracement and then a lower high and a continuation to the downside, where if we are unable to bounce from these levels, I will say this, the biggest level to watch here, guys, is going to be sitting between about $87,347 and that $85,200 low, because if we break those, guys, remember, quick moves up on Bitcoin oftentimes lead to quick moves to the downside, and you can see that visualized perfectly here on that low volume gap. And that first significant area after that gap gets hit, the first significant area where support picks up is really within this golden pocket. So if we start losing these levels, we could see things start to move pretty aggressively to the downside. But now that you have these key levels and also an idea of why price is moving down so fast, hopefully it gives you a little bit of a clear mind and takes that emotion out of the trading, so you're not freaking out saying, why is Bitcoin dumping? You simply know we're falling through a low volume gap, and we also have all those liquidations down below, which could add to that aggressive push to the downside. And if we take a look at Ethereum here, guys, you can see that we have pushed down into our key level on ETH as well, which was sitting all the way down here. This is another level that we have been watching like crazy on the live stream, sitting at about $3,000. We know this is a very key level of support. We have a golden pocket. We also have some lows here that we were looking to swing fail. We actually have come down and swing failed some of these levels. There is that SFP level right here. We swung down, ripped back above, closed that candle. Technically, we did get the SFP. We have some green dots here on the 1 hour. This is very key support, guys. We may be able to hang out down here for a little bit. So I will be looking for more entry confirmations to see if we could long this sucker back to the upside. But again, I am being very careful as the sell pressure is pretty intense right now. But I just wanted to bring up these key levels because these are levels we have been looking at for quite some time, especially on Ethereum, looking for price to come down to that $3,000 level, and like just couldn't get down there, back to the high, lose the POC, and finally we did get that full rotation of that value area into our key levels of support. So we will be watching Ethereum like a hawk as well, but from a market cipher perspective, this is looking similar to Bitcoin with money flow in the red on many key time frames. So if I were to catch a long position here on Ethereum, I would be definitely locking in profits pretty quickly in case we do get that bigger drop to the downside. And guys, if we do get that bigger drop down, the next key levels, significant key levels that I will be watching, are going to be sitting down here at about $27.31, down to this previous value area high at about $2,700. So if we lose this golden pocket that we're technically getting a little bit of a bounce from right now, I will be looking down towards this next zone between $27.34 and $26.93, or $2,700, just for that clean, even number. But that is definitely going to be the next key level that I am looking at for Ethereum. But we have come down to that key level. So we'll see if we can get any confirmations in here. We'll see if we can get the bounce. But if not, now you guys have those lower levels of support that hopefully we can hold here. So crypto doesn't just take a huge nuke here in the beginning of 2025. This is not what we want to see. So hopefully we can hold these levels of support. So I'll keep you guys updated here on the channel if we get another volatile move. But until then, I will see you guys on the live stream at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're out there trading, guys, make sure you're locking in your profits. The market is getting pretty volatile. So when you're in there and you're in the green, you got to grab that money when it's on the table. So that's all the time I got for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide.